We all do things that we're not proud of. Every single one of us. I don't care who you are. There are no exceptions. In some way, shape, or form, we all do scummy things. Even if it's jumping to a conclusion about somebody. That you might not think is a big deal, but that's not okay. Anyway, to get to my point, we all do things that we're not necessarily gonna be proud of. Okay? That happens. It's very important that when you feel compelled to justify your behavior to someone, when you feel compelled to convince someone that you're in the right, that should be a red flag. You might not be in the right. When you feel the need to convince somebody, there's probably something you're doing that is not sitting well with everybody. And at times that will be okay. You're not always going to agree with everybody, and you're not always going to be on good terms with everyone. But you need to differentiate between that and actually doing something you shouldn't be doing, or thinking a certain way that you shouldn't be thinking. So you need to use judgment. Don't linger on it too much, but do examine your behavior, your mindset, and ask yourself, okay, is what I'm doing simply disagreeable to someone, or is it wrong? Is it objectionable? You need to take the time to do that. Don't linger on it too much, like I said, but take some time and be sharp and be harsh in your judgment of yourself in this instance, because I mean, the only person whose feelings you're going to hurt are your own. And I mean, what's the big deal, right? You have a lot to gain. So put your ego aside for a minute and really do ask yourself the tough questions. Ask yourself, am I doing something wrong, or am I just being disagreeable with someone who might have objectionable point of views of their own? And that's always going to play into it, by the way. So you have to use judgment at all times. You can't be too much of a pushover, but you can't be a complete jerk. And that's going to be your sort of your meter. You're going to have to look at your thought process when you're trying to justify yourself to someone. And more than likely, if you're questioning yourself, if you're finding that you're trying a little too hard to get your point of view to win out, you might have to consider relinquishing. You might have to consider throwing in the towel, so to speak. That's going to happen in life. We all have to do that. In some way, shape, or form, life is going to wrestle you down, and it's going to knock you down and tell you, hey, you're fucking up. And I'm going to keep letting you know, and it's not, I'm not going to be as nice next time. And it's always the same speech. It's always, I'm going to be less nice, and life is progressively more stern with you. And the consequences go up. It's like being disciplined as a child, right? If your parents are decent parents. Or like at a job. You know, if you have a good boss, even the bad ones, they're going to discipline you progressively. They're going to do what is in their means to get rid of you. Even if they just don't like you, they can't necessarily, usually just can you. They're going to game the system. The good and the bad bosses are going to game the system. Sorry. They're going to game the system. And this concept applies to life, as I'm saying. Just as it applied in your childhood. Even if you had bad parents, there was discipline, right? There were times when your actions as a child were objectionable, and you had to learn. And it wasn't always your parents. Maybe it was another grown-up. Maybe it was another kid. Maybe just life just kind of dealt you some blows. But life works that way, regardless of whether it's in your childhood, in your job currently, in any social sphere, if you're in school, whatever. life is gonna let you know. It's gonna give you those signs. I know this sounds a little mystical, but yeah, life is gonna give you signs. Word it however you like, but you're gonna be notified that you're fucking up. You're gonna be notified that you're fucking up, and it may be nice at first. Like I said, if life is being a fair teacher at the moment, it's gonna start off slowly. But maybe you don't want that. Maybe you want life to be a harsh teacher. Maybe you want life to be like a shitty boss, where the consequences get ratcheted up immediately, and you get to reap the benefits. You see, to go back to the job analogy, if a boss disciplines you too harshly, too quickly, he's gonna pay the price. There's gonna be some backlash. You're not gonna like it, right? And you're gonna think that it's coming back, that it's coming down on you, but you're getting to learn a little quicker. You're gonna have to learn your lesson anyway. If you're fucking up, if you're showing up late, if you're taking 2 minutes extra of lunch, if you're taking 5-10 minutes extra of lunch, and you know, not clocking back in from lunch on time or something, or you're taking these like 30-35 minute breaks. I don't do that, by the way. I don't take more than like an extra 3 minutes. I'm learning slowly, but I'm learning. You're gonna, I lost track. Life is gonna, you know, your boss is gonna let you know what's up, and the harsher your boss is, the better. Whether you, in the moment, you're not gonna appreciate that very much, but if that weren't the case, this discipline would be doled out a lot slower, and you would be, you wouldn't catch on, and you would be paying a price. You would be, at the very minimum, life wouldn't be going your way, wouldn't be going as smoothly as you might like it to. So it's just something to think about. Always pay attention to that. To bring this long video, once again, long video, it's gonna be like 8 or 9 minutes. To bring it to an end, make sure you pay attention when you're trying to dominate, when you're trying to prove yourself right, or you're trying to prove somebody else wrong, or you're trying to justify your behavior. First of all, make sure that you shouldn't be trying to justify it, because there are times when you should justify yourself, and you should, well, not justify, but apologize and acknowledge what you've done, and then move forward. But there are times when you shouldn't do that. There are times when you should more or less stand up for yourself. But even in those times, you should keep moving. Don't try to convince somebody who's hard-headed. All in all, just pay attention. Be aware, and make sure that you don't jump to conclusions, and you use good judgment when you're getting that iffy feeling, when you're trying to you know, like I said, once again, when you're trying to justify your thoughts and actions, question yourself and figure out if there's always going to be corrective work to be done. To figure out how much. There's no way around it. Even if you think you're in the right, and you know, even if you maybe are, you can still take accountability. You can still take some blame, take some of the brunt, and take it easy on the other person, even if you think they're wrong. Don't be harsh with people. Okay? Be kind. Be kind. I mean, you've got nothing to lose, right?